How much more do I have to do? Don't I already have it?
And then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
Yes. Sure.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner had... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
Subject Sir Rodney Bencliffe, age 63, the right eyeball has been burst, pierced to the hilt by a curved bladed knife. The blade cut through the orbit of the frontal bone, ripping a part of the frontal lobe and the corpus callosum, after which completing its trajectory in the cerebellum caused hemorrhagic lesions. The guy was stabbed in the eye, alright? that's what happened, he got stabbed in the eye. All of these injuries led directly to the death of the individual. You don't say! You don't say! The knife went into his brain through his eyeball. And that led to the death of the individual. You don't say! At the upper lobe of the right lung, there is an old injury filled with an amount of mucus and ciliated debris that may correspond to a chronic infection by elements, likely inhaled in a burial chamber. Alright, so alright, lung damage. A decaying mummy, for example, or a dried and decomposing food product intended to accompany the deceased in their grave. That's speculating, bro. That's moving into speculation. Just talk about damage, don't speculate. The remainder of the body does not appear to have been damaged. Okay. So his lungs were damaged and stabbed in the eyeball.
A hand-drawn map.
Fascinating. We need to match that with a real map.
An ordinary pencil.
An ordinary pencil letter from Pitkin. Sir Gregory Pitkin, manager to Mr. Blinkhorn. Dear Sir, the interests that I represent require the situation at the baths to be changed for the better. At the present time, the frigidarium excavations remain under your direction, and yet the works have not progressed. You have failed to find anything of value, and we are unable to make the frigidarium accessible to the public. The frigidarium is a valuable asset in the recreation of the Roman bath experience. I urge you to complete your work within the next 2 months. You have this remaining time to conclude your archaeological research and to find yourself another workplace. Okay. Mr. Blinkhorn was fired. Well, notice of termination, I guess. Bloody
When
town.
Garrow found Sir Rodney dead, he wiped the blood upon himself.
Yes. Drug file. Alright, we'll take it.
A file with herbs. Do you know what it is, my dear fellow?
It's the St. John's wort flower, Holmes. It's commonly used as a drug against melancholia. However, an overdosage might lead to a rash or even hallucinations.
St. John's wort flower?
An embroidered silk handkerchief.
Alright.
A fountain pen with solid gold trim.
Solid gold trim. Sir Gregory Pitkin, manager, Roman Bath, Strand Lane, London.
Sir Gregory Pitkin's visiting card.
Alright, examine belongings completed. Fascinating. We also have a dead body, right? Let's meddle with the dead body. First, let us remove the towel and look at his penis. No? Oh, no, we don't look at his penis. There's a dead person there. Is there anything else in the room? No. Let me just take a look around. Apparently nothing else is useful. There are other dead bodies too. Shouldn't they be refrigerated? Oh, interesting. Scars everywhere. Wow.
An unusual wound, inflicted by a curved knife, which resulted in instant death, as the coroner's report says.
What if he was already dead before he was stabbed?
According to the coroner, there were no cardiac problems nor lung congestion, but there were traces of fungus, possibly contracted from the Egyptian tombs.
Right. So the coroner has already done a bit of an autopsy. Lung fungus.
The coroner observed no stomach nor liver disease, if we're to accept that Sir Rodney was an occasional drinker and 63 years of age.
No stomach or liver disease. That's interesting.
The bruising is in lines.
He was tied up.
Some light bruising, caused by a rope. They were caused by a rope around the waist. Sir Rodney was descending somewhere.
Huh. That's it? We don't get to cut him up and we don't get to see his penis. Alright, well. I mean, there were all these knives sitting here, the scalpels and saws and stuff, and I thought, hey, we'll get to cut some bodies. Nope, no cutting today. No cutting, boys. What's going on? So we need to talk about the vial, talk about Pickett's letter. So these are all dialogue options. Okay. Some what? Wait. What did it say? Some of the evidence. There was a help thing there. I think it said some of the evidence can be used as dialogue options. Alright, let's go talk to people.
Locked.
Unless we want to mess around some more. I don't think there's anything else to mess around with. Blinkhorn, Pitkin, Garrow, room. Alright, let's one guy at a time. Pitkin.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, Sir Gregory. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder that took place this morning. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Tell me, Mr. Holmes, will I need to stay here for very much longer?
Yes. Yes, you will. You'll stay here for a long, long time. Well, you have to stay as long as it takes for you to cooperate. Let's put it that way. Arrogant look? That's a clue? Sure. I guess you can't let people be arrogant to you. Aristocratic roots, alright. Gold chain, am I right? Man of wealth, cashmere vest. Wait, what are we missing? Disdain mount. You're gonna judge him by the way he looks? Really?
You are the manager of the baths, is that correct?
Yes, I'm passionate about archaeology. I wanted to restore the ruins. My ambition is to open the baths to the public. Living archaeology can be a profitable business, although now I'm not so sure.
I see. When do you wish to begin using the baths?
When the archaeological researches are over, I will be free to complete the restoration. It is the usual process.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney Bentcliffe?
We were not particularly close. He had an unpleasant temperament. Suspicious, authoritarian, unkind. People possessed by genius may be forgiven for their nature, but not by me.
Was he obstructive?
Not at all. Everything he did led us to greater success. He helped us increase the potential of the building.
Why do you hate him then? He helped you so much.
How was the work progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather slowly, I would say.
Sir Rodney's ring, Roman coin, chilled champagne, Pickens letter, bloody key. Pickens letter.
Sir Gregory, could you please explain this letter? You expressed the wish to call off the research work at the baths.
It was all about Blinkhorn. He was merrily digging away and taking very little care about it, ruining everything and finding nothing of any value.
But the arrival of Sir Rodney changed your mind?
Sir Rodney's work was extremely promising, and it was good for the bath's publicity. So yes, I changed my mind.
Right. So he wanted the archaeological stuff to be done so that he could open the bath to the public and start making money. But then Sir Rodney came and brought a lot of publicity, and so that's fine. I mean, that seems plausible. I don't see anything wrong with that so far.
Please tell me what happened this morning.
The test that we performed this morning was a success. The steam was working well. But then, of course, that awful murder.
What did you see?
The steam was too thick to see anything. But ask Garrow. He saw the body first.
The steam was too thick to see anything? I don't... Are steam rooms that steamy? They're not that steamy, are they?
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Look, I'm not a suspicious fellow, but I think that he had professional interests elsewhere that he did not wish us to know about.
Why should you think that? Where?
I have no idea. But after all, it was not my business.
Oh, really?
Are you aware that Mr. Garrow is under a form of medication?
Garrow? No. But I never liked that parasite.
Do you believe him to be capable of murder?
Well, he did have blood on him. Does that make him a murderer?
Some melted silver was found inside the steam room brazier. Do you know where it came from?
Silver? No.
Did you bring a bottle of champagne to the baths?
Absolutely not. Sir Rodney did, I think.
Okay. Alright. Mr. Garrow, Mr. Blinkhorn.
Do you have something else to ask me?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. My name is Percival Blinkhorn.
Hi, Percival. Let me just look at him. Focus, look, attentive. That's apparently a clue. His beard is not remarkable, even though you would think that this is quite remarkable. But according to the game, this is not remarkable. The words aren't even there. Not wealthy, sure. What was that? Rusty braces, shabby work gear, okay. Recent earthwork, so he's the archaeologist. Callous. Profession.
What is your occupation?
I'm an archaeologist, specializing in the Roman period. I'm working on several excavation sites at present, including the baths at Strand Lane.
Can you tell me more about the baths?
Well, we're hoping to retrieve a great many interesting artifacts from the site, and to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition.
And has it been successful?
It has, thanks to Sir Rodney.
Really?
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney?
Well, I couldn't say that he was a kind man, no. But he was talented. I felt a great admiration for him, I must say.
Was it your first collaboration?
I had met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt, and I'd shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago.
Surprisingly?
Well, Sir Rodney was a cold man, and so very secretive too. But I learned so much from him. I can't believe that he's dead.
Alright, your work.
How well were your researches progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
Pickens' letter. Rodney's ring, Roman bloody letter.
This letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work.
Yes. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on.
What will happen now that Sir Rodney is dead?
Well, I haven't thought about that. But if it's needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations.
Can you tell me what you saw today?
Well, we entered the steam room and we all went to sit down. The steam was particularly dense, and I didn't see anything much further after that. I just heard Mr. Garrow shouting, but we all ran for the door and bumped into each other. I was very alarmed by this point.
What did you do?
Well, the door was stuck, and with all the steam, it was quite frightening. I was barely able to see my own feet. Garrow was covered in blood.
Do you believe that Garrow killed Sir Rodney?
Oh, no. Garrow couldn't harm a fly.
Huh.
Can you recall any recent event that would occur to you now as being a little strange?
Well, yesterday we had a small argument.
Is that all?
No. Sir Rodney informed me that he was to attend the London Archaeological Congress with me. Then he advised me of quite the opposite. And rather aggressively, too.
What? He told you one thing and then he told you the other thing, aggressively.
Do you recognize this ring?
Certainly. It's the famous Aswan ring. Sir Rodney brought it back from his last campaign in Egypt.
And he kept it for himself?
Sir Rodney has had his own particular ideas of archaeology.
Okay. I see.
What can you tell me about Garrow?
Well, he always looks so sad. And he has been acting strangely lately. He complains about voices and visions. I
Overdosed.
will keep an eye on him because I'm worried.
The guy's overdosed on St. John's wort.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
No. Silver, you say? No, I don't know how it got there.
That looks like he's lying.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
No, I did not.